Hi Gemini, and welcome to your Venus Love Tarot reading. Venus is moving into Aquarius on December 20th and will remain there until about January 12th. And then Mars will be joining, well, won't be joining her, but Mars is moving into Sagittarius on January 3rd. So the divine masculine energy getting very spiritual. Also, we have the new moon in Capricorn on the 26th with the annular eclipse. So big cycle completing for every one of us at the end of December. All right, Gemini, with Venus moving into Aquarius, it's a time of, deep thinking, really evaluating our relationships, ourselves, what we want out of them. Are we in the right relationship? So it's all about evaluation and reassessment. So let's see. Overall energy is challenges. So this is what you guys are really thinking about. So, those of you in committed relationships, this here is, sorry, the glare, I'm trying to, so that there's no glare. All right, there you guys go. Okay, so Gemini, those of you in committed relationships, this here to me feels more like I really want to come to solutions. Like I want us to overcome our challenges. It's not like, do we belong together? I don't feel like for you guys in committed relationships that it's that type of assessment. It's more like this deep desire from the soul to overcome, all your struggles, all your challenges, the things that come in between your love. All right. Now for singles, what I see here is there is a connection that you have with somebody and that's not committed, all right? But that connection creates a lot of challenges for you in finding new romance or connecting to new romantic partners. And this connection could be somebody that you date with no commitment, or this could be somebody that you just don't talk to anymore. But Spirit's gonna really bring this to light for you while Venus is in Aquarius, is that this particular connection in your life is really preventing you from connecting to new romance as much as you may desire it. Like some of you, it could be that you really care about this person but you want to just move on because they won't commit, or you just have way too many incompatibilities. But it's like either your interaction with them is still holding you back, keeping you very connected to them, or within your heart space you're still very connected to them. And Spirit's going to bring that to light because you've got to resolve that before you can move on and truly connect with somebody new. So let's pull some more cards and get some highlights about this energy. Heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. Wow. Gemini, yeah, that right there, I'm telling you, those of you who are single, there is somebody, if there's nobody in your heart that you're still pretty hung up on, or there's nobody in your life that's just a really back and forth situation, then this I don't feel is really going to speak much to you. Because with that first highlight coming out as heartbroken, yeah, it's like it's time for you to let this particular relationship go, or to heal yourself. If this is somebody in your past that you're still hoping and wishing for, it's time to let it go. And I'm not surprised to see this type of message just because of the astrology that's taking place throughout the rest of December. And again, it's like this big completion for us that we've got to let certain things go so that we can move forward. Let's pull the next card, the Runner, and it says, runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. Yeah, so why won't they commit? Well, there you go. Okay, and those of you where this is somebody of the past and you are just really hung up on hoping that you guys get back together, Spirit's letting you know where they are at right now, who they really are. They're codependent. They have a lot of issues that they need to work on within themselves, And instead of choosing to do that, when things get real, they run away, and that's their pattern. All right, and that's what they'll continue to do. And that's why Spirit's saying you've got to let this go and, you know, move forward, because there's better love for you. There's other love connections that can't even come into your life because your energy is so blocked, because you're so wrapped up in that. Okay, those of you in committed relationships, yeah, you are really, really desiring, like, how can we get past our issues? You know, it appears like one of you, when things get kind of tough or things get really real, just shuts down and, you know, doesn't share, doesn't respond, doesn't participate. And I feel like that's a big thing. And now, you know, here we are with Venus moving into Aquarius, and it's going to, it's like it really eats away at you, and you want to overcome it. And, you know, I definitely feel like when there's two people who already have a committed relationship, they're both in love with each other, I always have hope for that. Always, always, always. And I always will. But Gemini, you know, with this, it may be like if what you guys face is too much, it's just a repetitive pattern that's happened over years, a long time, it might be time to separate yourself for a little while. That might be what the solution is, because sometimes things need to fall apart so they can fall back together. And sometimes somebody has to have a big time wake up call for them to realize what they did have. And so those of you who are committed, you know, if you're all happy and jolly, obviously this reading is not for you. But those of you where it's like you just keep going through the same struggle within the relationship, you're in this place of deep thought of, is there a solution to this? And if you keep coming back to that solution of, like, maybe we need to separate for a little while, I do think that might be beneficial. This is just a general reading. You've got to do what you feel is best for you. But it's like sometimes radical change needs to take place, you know, for things to actually change, because doing the same thing over and over is going to give you the same, you know, effect over and over. And so it might be time to really do something quite different to change this behavior. All right, let's pull some tarot. And I'll tell you what, Gemini, Spirit is being brutally honest in these Venus readings that I've been doing, like all of them. Like, you guys are my third, and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to hide under my desk. Okay, so first out is the High Priestess, and she jumped out. Next is the Four of Wands, Queen of Swords, Nine of Wands, and lastly, the Eight of Wands. Ooh, so you guys got a lot of Wands energy going on, and that's a big time empowerment to the Divine Masculine energy within you, whether you're male or female. That's what Mars represents for me, is the Divine Masculine, and the Divine Masculine being the solar plexus chakra. And so what I see going on here, Gemini, is you are getting very empowered within yourself, really asserting yourself, ready for big time change all the way at a soul level. And you've got the High Priestess, which that's soul, you know, all day long. That's intuition. That's the mysteries, the unknowable. It's like you can only sense it out, you know, through your emotional body, like picking up on the vibes, the energy. Okay, and then Wands. Wands is fire, which is the spiritual energy, the ether of creation. And you've got that so strongly. So you know, ultimately what you decide to do here, Gemini, it's coming from the depth of your soul, and you know it. Like, you've been feeling this. There's nothing I am saying in this reading that you haven't already come to the conclusion of yourself. This is just your validation of it, and 100% your validation of it. And you know, there's a big shift taking place within you spiritually attached to that annular eclipse, and it's time for you know, this energy to get out of your life. You know, if you're really hung up on somebody and you guys aren't together and all those things, Gemini, it's time to let it go. It is. You're evolving, you're expanding into something else, and that relationship wouldn't even fit right on you with where you're headed. Those of you where somebody's just back and forth playing games with you, I saw that really strong in Taurus's reading as well. Somebody's just back and forth playing games with you. Spirit's just confirming they are always going to leave you heartbroken. When it gets real, they're always going to run. That's just who they are. That's their pattern, and you deserve better than that. And there's the shifting, the Queen of Swords, that's rising out of the heart space into the mental body where we see things very clearly and logically. You got to think of the Justice card like it's a detachment from emotions. It's you know, black and white. There is no gray. Facts are facts, and that's what's happening to you here, Gemini, is you're going into that mental body and you're seeing things for what they are. And I see you making a big decision. And now those of you in these committed relationships that are just in this like big time struggle, it's like you've got to do something drastically different than you have to create change to help you guys overcome those challenges that you face. And what that drastic change is, you already know in your soul. And it's different for each of you because this is a general reading, but you already know it in your soul. You've got to listen to it. Gemini, Spirit is answering and trying to help you out in regards to love and romance. Okay. So we have the Five of Swords coming out under this High Priestess. The Four of Swords coming out under the Four of Wands. Nine of Swords coming out under Eight of Wands. Three of Wands under Queen of Swords. And lastly, we have Three of Cups. All right. Singles and those of you dealing with somebody back and forth, for real, let it go. Ask Spirit to help you. Ask Archangel Raphael to come in and help heal your heart and help rise you up, help bring you clarity and understanding so you can see this person from a whole new perspective, the perspective that they need to be viewed in, and so you can just see the truth about them. Because Gemini, there is love up ahead for you. There is a new relationship Spirit is trying to bring into your life. It's just this past energy. Either you're still hung up on somebody or this person is still back and forth in your life. Like, that has got to go. You need to heal from that in order for your stability to come back in. All right. And it will always be the same story with this person. You feel that in your soul and Spirit's confirming it for you. It will always be the same story with them. And Spirit wants to bring you some happiness, Gemini, and fun, and, you know, bring you back to life. Like, you deserve better than what you've been dealing with. And, you know, if you're a cross watcher and you're like, you're explaining Gemini, not me, then the advice is the same for you. You know, it's time for you to let this Gemini be and go and seek your own happiness, because, you know, the runner, they will just stay in the same pattern. All right. And now those of you in these committed relationships, yeah, you've got to seek out the advice from the angels on what is the best radical move for you to facilitate great change, to overcome these challenges. Because I do see a lot of oppression and heaviness hanging over you, hanging over this relationship. And it is time for you to move on from that, whether with this person or on your own, Gemini. Like, with this annular eclipse is no joke. It's like what must be left behind, because you're changing shape. You are coming into a new form, a new being of sorts. So let's pull you some advice, Gemini. Commitment. Ask yourself the question you often ask everyone else. What do you need? Listen to the answer and respond actively and committedly as you do for others in your life. Ooh, Gemini, look at that. Look at Spirit saying. you've got to do what's right for you and make a commitment to that and follow it all the way through, as hard as it may be, because there is better for you on the other side. And as somebody, you know, for those of you, somebody back and forth, they can't give you a commitment. Like, it's just not in them. They're not choosing to spiritually evolve. They're choosing to run from the challenges of their life, and that's not going to change. And, you know, you deserve a real solid, strong, true commitment, which is going to be offered up ahead through a new love. Those of you hanging on to somebody from the past, same thing. Spirit's like, nope, make the choice for yourself, for your highest good, to let that person go and open yourself up to new love, because it's there, it's waiting. And those of you in committed relationships, whatever it is that you decide to do to overcome these challenges, you've got to follow it through all the way to the end, no matter how hard it is, because it will bring about the change that you desire deep in your soul. All right. So Gemini, those are your messages. I'm wishing you all the best. Take care.